Alright, this video we're going to kind of just describe what's going on. So otherwise we're going to talk about the X-Intercepts, the Y-Intercepts, zeros, max value, min values, vertex, axis of symmetry, all this stuff. First thing I'll do is talk about the standard form. This is the standard form. And it does help to know that what each of these stand for. So like the letter A, that if that number is greater than 1, then the parabola gets narrow. It gets a lot thinner. Alright? If it's less than 1, otherwise if it's a fraction or decimal, actually it's between -1 and this is A. If A is between -1 and 1, then the closer it gets to 0, the wider the parabola gets. All right, we're talking about A, this value for A. If it's a negative number, all right. So if it's a negative number, it's a frowny face. We call that opening downward. If it's a positive number, it's like you're happy, you're positive. It's a smiley face. It opens up. Alright, so negative is like a frowny face. It opens downward if it's a positive. Now we're only talking about the A value. The C value is our Y-intercept. So the C value represents where our parabola will touch the Y-axis. So this is our Y-intercept. The B shifts the vertex. It moves the vertex. And alright, so let's talk about where our roots are. And we've done this a couple of times. The part that I'm circling, so wherever where our line touches the x-axis, these are called our X-intercepts. They're also called roots, solutions, zeros. Sometimes they call them function of 0 or 0 over function. The y-intercept is where our parabola touches the y-axis. So right here. So where our parabola touches the y-axis, that's our y-intercept. Now, don't get it confused with the vertex or anything like that, because it's not always there. I'll draw one later and show you a different one. The min and max is how low or how high our parabola goes. So let's draw another one so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's go to another thing. Alright, so here's a couple examples that I created. Alright, and so I'm going to point out the min and the max, and the axis of symmetry and the vertex. Alright, and I'm going to change colors here so we can kind of see a little brighter color. Alright, so let's first start off with the min. The min is the lowest it goes. Alright, on this one has a min because that's as low as it goes. And if we were to label this, be 1, 2, 3, our min would be a -3. It'd be y equals a -3. And this one, the other one, you can't have a min because the arrows are going on forever, but it does have a max. Alright, so this would be a max. And the max here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the max would be y equals 5. So a min is as low as it goes, max is as high as it goes. Now, is it possible for a parabola to have a min or a max? It is. It is possible. Let me give you an example why or how. What if we had dots? Remember we talked about before having dots and we had something like this? Then we would have a min, which would be here, and a max here. Alright, so the min would have been y equals -2, and our max here would have been y equals 2, because that's about where it goes. Alright, so it is possible to have either one. Alright, or both. Alright, so let me show you the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is the imaginary line that goes right down the middle and splits the parabola into two equal sections. Alright? It goes right through the vertex. The vertex is the point at the tip of each parabola. That is the vertex. Alright, the vertex contains an X and Y point because it's a point. The X is our axis of symmetry. Alright, so like if you see our line going straight down and it goes through the vertex, so it touches right here. So my axis of symmetry in this case would be X equals 3. Alright, this I think we've got is X equals a -1. Because see, it's right here and then it goes up to -1. The Y value is our min or max. It's our Y value. So in this case, if you look at this one, this vertex here is 3, -3. This represents the axis of symmetry. This axis represents the min or the max. This vertex over here is -1 and 5, where this is the axis of symmetry. This is the min or the max, depending on what you're asking for. Alright, I want to talk to you about the different types of solutions. On a quadratic, there are 3 types of solutions. There's one time, where it touches one time, one point. So otherwise, it only touches the x-axis one time. In this case, there are 2 solutions. So it's 2 points. So it has 2 points that it touched 2 x-intercepts. This has 1 x-intercept. Alright, there is a third one, and I want to show you real quick. I was just going to draw it real quick so you can see it. The third one is when you have a parabola that doesn't touch the x-axis at all. See how this one doesn't touch? So this one would be no solution because it doesn't touch the x-axis. Alright, no x-intercept. Sometimes we call these no solutions, empty set sometimes, but just remember that it really means no solutions, means there's no x-intercepts.